You know, when people talk about kissing, they almost always think about the lips. But the truth is, if you want to make a guy feel wanted, desired, and completely drawn to you, it's not just about the kiss itself, it's about where you kiss him. Because the right kiss in the right place can do far more than just spark attraction. It can make him feel adored in a way most guys never experience. When people think of kissing, they often go straight to the lips because that's the image we all carry when it comes to passion. But if you really want to create a deeper experience, you need to look beyond the obvious. The neck and collarbone are some of the most powerful places you can kiss a man, and yet they are often overlooked. This is where attraction turns into something more magnetic because you're playing with anticipation, vulnerability, and closeness in a way that makes him feel like you've crossed into a space that not everyone is allowed to enter. The neck is an incredibly vulnerable area. Think about it. Biologically, it's one of the most delicate parts of the body. When you kiss a man there, you're not just being affectionate, you're signaling trust and intimacy. He feels that you've chosen a place that goes beyond the surface. It's not just about pleasure, it's about showing that you're comfortable enough to touch him somewhere that instantly lowers his guard. That act alone can transform a simple moment into something far more charged. What makes the neck so powerful is the way it blends sensuality with subtlety. A kiss on the neck is not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, almost secretive, like a private message between the two of you. It can be a slow, lingering kiss that melts him, or it can be a playful, teasing kiss that sends a shiver down his spine. The collarbone adds to that effect because it's not only close to the heart, but it also carries a mix of elegance and intimacy. When you kiss there, you're telling him you see him as more than just a body. You see the man behind the surface. Now, here's the part most people don't think about. Kissing the neck builds anticipation for everything else. When you go for the lips, it's direct, it's expected. But when you start at the neck, you're creating a journey. You're saying, I'm not rushing this. I'm savoring this moment with you. That pacing is magnetic to a man. It flips a switch in his mind because suddenly he realizes he's not just kissing you, he's being seduced, and that experience is rare. The physical reaction is also undeniable. The neck is filled with nerve endings that respond to the slightest touch. A light kiss there can send waves of sensation throughout his body. Add in your breath against his skin, and suddenly it's not just a kiss, it's an experience. The collarbone, being so close to the chest and shoulders, ties that feeling into his sense of strength and masculinity. A kiss there makes him feel desired in a way that boosts his confidence while also making him feel deeply connected to you. But there's also something symbolic about this area. The neck and collarbone represent vulnerability and strength side by side. When you choose to kiss a man here, you're acknowledging both parts of him. You're not only saying, I desire you, but also, I see you. That balance of passion and respect is incredibly powerful. It's not just physical, it's emotional. And men, even if they don't always say it, crave moments where they feel both strong and tender at the same time. What really makes this spot stand out is how versatile it is. A kiss on the neck can be playful, it can be tender, it can be fiery. It adapts to the mood you're in with him. If you're laughing and teasing, a quick kiss on his neck feels spontaneous and fun. If you're in a slow, intimate moment, a lingering kiss there feels deeply romantic. If the chemistry is intense, that same spot can become electric, turning the entire energy of the room in seconds. That's why this area is so powerful. It carries layers of meaning, and when you explore it, you're giving him something unforgettable. The jawline and cheek may seem like simple areas to kiss, but they carry a weight that goes beyond physical attraction. When you kiss a man along his jawline, you're touching the part of him that represents strength, confidence, and masculinity. It's the part of his face that frames his identity, and when you place your lips there, it's like you're affirming that side of him without words. At the same time, a kiss on the cheek carries the opposite energy. It's softer, gentler, more emotional. This balance of passion and tenderness makes these spots so uniquely powerful. The jawline is often associated with strength and dominance. Many men take pride in it because it represents sharpness, maturity, and structure. So when you choose to kiss him there, it's like you're honoring that part of who he is. You're saying, I see your strength, I admire it, and I'm drawn to it. A kiss on the jawline can feel grounding for him because it connects to that deep part of his identity that thrives on being respected. And when admiration comes through touch, it lingers longer than words. At the same time, kissing his jawline has a teasing, almost playful edge to it. You're close to his lips, but not quite there, which builds anticipation. It keeps him wondering what's coming next. That's the magic of it. It's not only affectionate, it's suspenseful. The moment your lips touch that line of his face, you're giving him a preview of intimacy while making him crave the real thing. That element of delayed gratification turns a simple kiss into something much more captivating. Now let's talk about the cheek, because this area has its own language. A kiss on the cheek is incredibly intimate, but in a different way. It's not about seduction, it's about connection. It's a way of saying, I care about you, I'm close to you, I trust you. A man may receive kisses on the lips or hugs in daily life, but a genuine kiss on the cheek is rare. When you do it, it feels deeply personal, almost like you're giving him a piece of affection he doesn't get anywhere else. A cheek kiss can also disarm him in a beautiful way. Men are often taught to put up walls, to be strong, to not show too much vulnerability. But when you kiss him on the cheek, you tap into that softer side he doesn't always reveal. It creates safety, comfort, and a sense of being cared for. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about subtlety. And often, subtlety is what makes intimacy feel real. A man may never tell you this directly, but those small, tender moments stay with him longer than he expects. What makes both the jawline and cheek so powerful is that they work together to create balance. One fuels his sense of masculinity and confidence, while the other nurtures his emotional side. When you combine the two, you're showing him that you don't just see one dimension of him, you see the whole man. You're attracted to his strength, but you also value his vulnerability. That combination is magnetic because it touches both his ego and his heart at the same time, which is rare for him to experience. There's also a beautiful versatility here. Imagine kissing his jawline after a playful moment. It feels flirty and bold. Imagine kissing his cheek during a quiet embrace. It feels tender and loving. Imagine brushing your lips along his jaw when the energy is charged. It feels fiery and irresistible. These places adapt to the mood you're creating with him. They aren't about one kind of kiss, they're about expression. And the more you explore them, the more you'll discover how much power they hold in shaping the emotional experience between you. The ear is one of the most overlooked yet most sensitive areas of the body, and that's what makes it so powerful when it comes to kissing. It's a place where touch and sound collide, creating a completely different type of intimacy. When you kiss a man on his earlobe, or even around the edge of his ear, you're giving him an experience that feels both subtle and electric at the same time. It's not about being dramatic, it's about being intentional with the smallest of actions. Those tiny moments are often the ones that leave the deepest impression. The earlobe in particular is filled with nerve endings, which means even the lightest kiss can send a wave of sensation across his body. It's delicate, and that's what makes it so impactful. You don't have to apply pressure or make it obvious. Even a soft brush of your lips can feel overwhelming in the best way. That's the secret here. It's not about force, it's about subtlety. The softer you are, the stronger the effect tends to be, because it teases his imagination and makes him crave more. What makes this area unique is the way it combines touch with sound. When you're close to his ear, it's not just your lips he feels, it's your breath, your whispers, even the slightest sound you make. All of that adds another layer to the moment. A simple kiss here can become unforgettable if you let the atmosphere work in your favor. Your closeness, your presence, and the intimacy of being right there next to one of his most sensitive spots is what creates that magnetism. There's also a playful element to kissing the ear. It doesn't always have to be slow and serious. It can be teasing, light, almost mischievous. A gentle nibble on the earlobe or a playful kiss near the edge of his ear can spark laughter, surprise, and excitement. It keeps the energy fun while still being deeply intimate. That's what makes this area so versatile. You can use it to build anticipation in a sensual way, or you can use it to bring a spark of playfulness into the moment without losing any of the connection. From a psychological perspective, this spot matters because of how close it is to his thoughts. The ear is literally the gateway to his mind, the place where words and sounds enter. So when you kiss him there, you're combining physical affection with the intimacy of being in his headspace. It makes him feel surrounded by you, immersed in the moment, and drawn deeper into the experience. That's why many people describe ear kisses as unexpectedly powerful. They affect both the body and the mind. Another reason this area works so well is because it's not an everyday place for affection. Most men aren't used to having someone focus there, which makes it feel unique. It breaks the pattern of the usual kisses and creates a new memory for him. When you go for his earlobe or the curve of his ear, you're stepping into a space that feels personal, exclusive, and rare. That rarity is part of what makes it linger in his thoughts long after the moment has passed. The beauty of kissing the ear and earlobe is that it blends seamlessly with everything else. You can move from the neck to the ear, from the cheek to the earlobe, from whispers to kisses, and it all flows naturally. It's an area that doesn't demand attention, but commands it the moment you focus there. It doesn't require intensity to be powerful, just presence. And that presence can turn a simple kiss into something unforgettable, because it shows him that you know how to use subtlety to create a lasting connection. The chest and torso are areas that carry a deep sense of intimacy, but in a very different way from the lips or the neck. When you kiss a man here, you're moving into a space that feels personal, grounding, and almost protective. It's not just about creating passion, it's about showing care, warmth, and closeness. Most men don't experience that kind of affection often, which makes it all the more powerful when it does happen. It's a kiss that feels nurturing, yet at the same time it taps into his masculinity and makes him feel desired. The chest is tied to the heart, literally and symbolically. When you place a kiss there, you're connecting with the part of him that holds his emotions, his vulnerability, and his strength all at once. It sends a message that goes deeper than physical attraction. It says, I see you, I value you, and I cherish this part of you. For many men, that kind of gesture is disarming because they're not used to being on the receiving end of tenderness that feels so deliberate and intentional. Kissing his chest also creates a grounding effect. Unlike the lips, which can feel fiery and quick, or the neck, which is teasing and electric, the chest carries a slower, more intimate energy. It tells him you're not in a rush, you're savoring the moment. That contrast builds depth in your connection because it shows that affection doesn't always have to be about speed or intensity. Sometimes the most powerful gesture is the one that's calm, steady, and filled with presence. The torso, on the other hand, adds another dimension to the experience. It's a place that represents strength, protection, and physicality. When you kiss a man along his torso, you're acknowledging his body in a way that celebrates it, without reducing him to just physical attraction. It's a gesture that combines admiration with intimacy. You're saying, I'm drawn to you, I respect you, and I want to show you affection in a way that feels genuine. That mixture of passion and respect leaves a lasting impression. There's also something deeply vulnerable about this area. Think about it. When someone lets you close to their chest and torso, they're giving you access to one of the most personal spaces of their body. It's a place that isn't exposed to just anyone. So when you kiss him there, it tells him you're not only comfortable with closeness, but that you value his vulnerability enough to treat it with care. That level of intimacy is rare, and it can make him feel deeply connected to you on an emotional level. What makes kissing the chest and torso so meaningful is that it goes beyond the idea of passion and enters the realm of devotion. It's not only about attraction, it's about giving affection in a way that feels almost sacred. It's a kiss that communicates, I admire you, I want you, and I also care for you. That's why many men find it unforgettable. They may not even be able to explain why it felt so powerful, but they'll remember the way it made them feel safe, seen, and valued. This area is also versatile in the kind of energy it can create. A kiss on the chest during a quiet, intimate moment feels tender and grounding, like you're wrapping him in warmth. A kiss along his torso when the chemistry is strong feels playful, bold, and exciting, almost like you're exploring a secret path that only you're allowed to discover. That range makes it one of the most powerful areas you can choose because it adapts to the mood and amplifies whatever energy you're creating together. The hands and forearms may not be the first places that come to mind when people think about kissing, but that's exactly what makes them so powerful. Because they're unexpected, they leave a much stronger impression. Most men don't ever experience someone kissing their hands or forearms, which is why when it does happen, it feels extraordinary. It's a gesture that's intimate without being overtly sexual, subtle yet deeply meaningful. A kiss here carries an elegance, almost like a hidden language of affection. The hands are where so much of his life is expressed. They represent what he does, what he creates, how he provides, and even how he protects. So when you take his hand and kiss it, you're acknowledging more than just a physical part of him. You're honoring the role those hands play in his life. It's a small act, but it has a way of cutting through the noise and touching something much deeper in his sense of identity. It makes him feel respected and admired in a way that words rarely do. The forearms, on the other hand, carry a different energy. They symbolize strength, effort, and resilience. Many men take pride in the physicality of their arms, whether it's from work, sports, or simply the way they represent capability. When you kiss his forearm, you're not just touching his body. You're showing appreciation for his strength and everything it represents. It's an affirmation that says, "I see your power and I adore it." That kind of recognition is rare, which is why it feels unforgettable. But beyond admiration, there's something very grounding about kissing these areas. The hands and forearms are not flashy, they're not dramatic, they're everyday parts of his body. That's what makes the gesture so special. It turns something ordinary into something extraordinary. It takes a part of him that he probably overlooks and transforms it into a place of connection. That transformation makes him feel valued in a way that catches him off guard and leaves him thinking about you long after the moment passes. There's also an element of devotion tied to this gesture. A kiss on the hand, for example, has always been seen as a symbol of respect, admiration, and reverence. It's timeless, almost romantic in an old-fashioned way, but when done sincerely, it still carries the same weight today. It shows humility, care, and a sense of cherishing the other person. For a man to receive that from someone he's close to can be incredibly moving because it makes him feel honored in a way he rarely experiences. The beauty of these kisses lies in their simplicity. You don't have to create an elaborate moment or build intensity for it to be meaningful. Even in a quiet, casual setting, taking his hand and kissing it softly can say more than a dozen passionate kisses on the lips. It speaks volumes about the way you see him, not just as someone you desire, but as someone you respect and appreciate deeply. That balance of passion and admiration is what makes this gesture stand out so strongly. Finally, kissing the hands and forearms brings a sense of intimacy that goes beyond physical attraction. It's a reminder that connection is not only about desire, but also about acknowledgement. When you kiss him there, you're telling him he matters, not just for what he looks like, but for who he is and what he represents in your life. That's why these small, unexpected kisses carry such an emotional impact. They make him feel valued, respected, and deeply seen in ways he might never have expected.